c'est le tigre. Le tigre est le symbole de la braveté, du courage de notre peuple. Le peuple coréen aime le tigre.
Est-ce que le tigre aime le peuple coréen?
Hello, fellow followers of our great leader. Do you know any North Korean artists? I mean, sure, there are the defectors, but I'm talking about actual painters and sculptors living in North Korea. Google turns up nothing. These are nameless, faceless people. But I need to know their names. I have to know their names. As historians, we can't let these people fall into obscurity. Only problem is, how?
Art not related with the revolution. Art for its own sake is useless. Kim Jong-un.
In Paris, France, the safest city in the world right now, there exists an almost mythical school, one which I almost applied to, the School of Fine Arts, aka Beaux-Arts. Monet, Delacroix, Ingres, Léon Gérôme, Louis David, Degas, hell, any good artist you can name has probably been to this school. Now what if I told you it has an equal? The Pyongyang University of Fine Arts, or PUFA, is allegedly the single greatest art university in North Korea. Their greatest artists have studied there. So why not I have a picture of it? No photo online, no place on Google Maps. This shit is more secretive than Area 51. Here's my conspiracy theory though. The University of Music and Dance has an innocuous small building right beside it with statues at the front. I believe this may or may not be PUFA. It could just be another section of the dance school though. Now let's have a comparison. Here's the Beaux-Arts 2022 exposition. We see every movement from abstract to impressionist to cubist to postmodern to almost Venetian Renaissance. The students express themselves fully onto a canvas. Now computer, pull up the Pyongyang exposition. Yes, here we have some socialist realism, and to the right we have some socialist realism. And if you go to the front, you will actually find some socialist realism. I'm kidding. It's actually called Jewish realism. Here, art is a far more collective effort to show the spirit of the Korean people and the revolution. Some expos don't even seem to have name tags, but some do. So I should be able to just zoom in and find a name, right? Well, sadly there is no close-up HD photo. We have to keep looking. And I know exactly where to go next, as almost every good painter from PUFA ends up one day at Mansudae.
Until I took the drop down to the hidden world of Slugterra.
The strength of art is greater than that of a nuclear bomb. Kim Jong-un.
When we look at, let's say, the Royal Academy of Arts in England, we can, in a way, understand the art and culture of England from the architecture alone. The building tells a story. So what do you think North Korea's most important art studio looks like? Mansudae is a brutalist, almost factory-like building. You could easily mistake it for a ministry. That's because it is. Mansudae is so crucial to North Korea that it is its own ministry. The ministry of what? Well, it seems quite clear to me that this is the Ministry of Propaganda. Mansudae is the only studio in the country that is even allowed to draw or paint the Kim dynasty. This is like if CalArts in the US was the only studio that could draw Joe Biden. If we can trust the government, Mansudae is the single biggest art studio in the entire world. Thousands of staff members with a ton of them occupied with sculptures. Mansudae makes insane money selling sculptures to African lords. The best comment I've seen about these sculptures is by art historian Adrian Tinniswood, who says, "These statues look like they're made to be toppled." Exactly, but they do a lot more than just sculptures. In Beijing, China, there is an art district, 798, and even better, Mansudae has an exhibition there, and even better, a generous YouTuber has recorded it. Finally, we can see some names and be done with this video. And she never zooms into name tags. At least we can see what they specialize in. Gigantic, beautiful landscape. Wait, hold up, that looks way too modern to be North Korean. Damn, maybe I was wrong. Maybe they do have a lot more freedom and can paint whatever style they want.
You have these paintings here that are very, very, cool. And obviously not done by a North Korean.
Fuck. Yeah, this video leads nowhere. In an ideal world, I would just go to Mansudae and interview the artists myself, but in the real world, I can't even afford a plane ticket. Here's the worst YouTuber promise you'll ever hear. If we ever get to 1 mil subs, I'll fly to North Korea myself. You know, I wish we could somehow look into Mansudae itself and just see... Oh, sorry. Huh? You tell me there's a video of some guy just casually touring it on YouTube? Well, how convenient to this video script. I got a good feeling about this one. We'll get our names. Once again, extremely impressive landscape art. I mean, this is present in all Asian art actually. Did you know the first type of perspective in art, atmospheric perspective, was invented by Chinese painters just for landscapes? And yeah, still no name tags. But this video recommends another video with an interview. Ladies and gentlemen, and Bulgarians. We have done it. An interview will of course mention the person getting interviewed and we'll all learn their names. Right? You rot. Well, at least let's watch it.
대략적으로 내가 한 작품이
46 is crazy. Even the most devout Christian painters didn't paint Jesus 46 times. Hell, at this rate, in 5 to 6 generations, we might have more paintings of the Kims than Jesus.
남아프리카를 비롯해서 남아프리카, 나미비아, 중아프리카, 리비아, 중아프리카의
짐바브웨, 모잠비크, 보츠와나, 나미비, 마라, 이집트, 콩고, Angola.
Man, that African warlord money must be something different. There is actually a video of another Mansudae exposition in the London North Korean embassy. Perhaps this artist will give us a clue about the others?
If there was ever a day when you as an artist decided that something the government did was wrong, would you think it appropriate to reflect that view in your art?
All the policies of the supreme leader and the government always reflect what the people want, what the people agree, and what the people support.
Yeah, they got him with that plankton chum bucket helmet. Still, nothing.
The genuine viability of art is in making the whole society astir with revolutionary passion. Kim Jong-un.
I was about to give up at this point. Nothing leads to the artists, and the only thing I keep finding is some random ad of Mansudae. Might as well rewatch that first video and try to zoom into name tags myself.
I've put so many links in the show notes for more information on North Korean art and also how you can purchase your own.
Wait. Purchase North Korean art? Well, here goes nothing. Choreo Studio, specialists, collection, 3,000 pieces? We did it! I can't believe it! Finally, these North Korean painters will get the recognition they deserve. And so many artworks too. Okay, let's start with the oil paintings. North Korea oil painting 6. North Korea oil painting 5? Oh, come on. Oh, come on! Artist not recorded, artist not recorded, artist not recorded. You know what? I'm done. Fuck this. I never liked Korean artists anyways, and Choreo Studios can sell their fake artworks to gullible idiots. Wait a second. Hwang In Jae, an actual artist with actual works. This is truly a remarkable opportunity to purchase works by North Korea's finest lino-cut artist. You know what? I agree. Partially because he's the only one I know, but also these are incredible. Realist, but proud, feminist, but also really grounded. So deceptively simple, like if Millet decided to go to North Korea. There's another one, Kim Kwang-nam, with some retro-futurist works. A perfect North Korean utopia. How is he not more well known? The site says this was a collaborative exposition with a British guy named Nick Bonner. Bonner. Yet if I look up his name, the only thing that shows up is this site again. I'm going to keep searching. We must dig deeper. We must find more names.
Art is a bugle, a powerful encouragement for the revolutionary advance to build a thriving country. Kim Jong-un.
What about that other really skilled guy, Hwang In Jae? Surely he must have something about him online. Okay, he has a mutual art page, born in 1943, so that makes him 80 years old now. A true master. Featured on an article? Wait, an artwork and a name? Another one? Another one? This article is a goldmine. How does this random page have access to this many North Korean artworks? Hey look, it's that guy again. Nick Bonner on art in North Korea. Nick Bonner might as well be the West's biggest collector of North Korean art. He has been visiting the Democratic People's Republic of North Korea since 1993 and bought his first work during that trip. Over the intervening years, while establishing his tourism business, Choreo Tours, the Choreo Group, it's all connected. This guy isn't some random Brit, he's the whole brains behind the operation. He is Choreo Studio. He even has a book with North Korean art. I mean, it's kinda expensive and would push this video back by like a week. Any sensible person wouldn't buy the book. I bought the book.
An artistic work insensitive to party policy will lose its viability. Kim Jong-un.
Printed in North Korea is an incredible visual gallery of hundreds of works. There is no way for me to show every lino cut, but I have curated my small collection of top 5 favorites. This one by J1 has a unique contrast between foreground and background. Usually, lines of factories with smoke coming out of them is seen as a symbol of dystopia, while a group of workers on bikes on luscious green grass seems to indicate a utopic society. You will see a lot more of this perfect worker class vision in North Korean art. Marching on the First Morning by Park Young-il. A clear snow scene in only 3 colors without counting the red. This is devilishly deceiving in its simplicity, and I wager most traditional artists of today would have a hard time coming even close to this one. Maybe a mangaka specializing in cityscapes could do it. Train Whistle of the Northern Part by Han Sung-won. I think you have started to recognize a certain aesthetic at this point. Pastel colors with black cell shading. At the think these are traditionally painted just makes them all the more impressive. Lino cuts or wood blocks take a gigantic amount of effort to get right, and these artists seem to always get it right out of pure love for the craft. This scene by Si-eung. I think to understand why these are impressive, you have to understand how they are made. A block of wood is carved by hand by the artist, filled with ink, then pressed down on a canvas to print it. This is done for every single color. These are not brushstrokes, they are carvings. So of course they use as little colors as possible. Of course the beaks of the birds is the same color as the dirt. Of course their limited palette creates a beautiful harmony. I sometimes attempt to reach a similar color structure with my own pixel art works, and there is something so special about being able to convey so much with so little. In this area, North Korean artists excel. Snow scene of Tabaksol God Post, artist unknown. I mean, just look at it. The color, the texture, the subject matter. This is peak North Korean art. Maybe the reason I love it so much is due to its resemblance to certain Evangelion scenes of high military contrasted with a gorgeous landscape. Not only is the piece an important work in their culture, but it is also my new wallpaper. You know, this is the second book I've bought from this publishing house, and they are really high quality. I wonder what other books they sell.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
And how could we forget about the greatest? The man that is responsible for this entire discovery, Hwang In Jae. The old master has a distinct style of expressive hatching. Lines fly everywhere, but he also has an affinity for slice of life paintings. He knows when to add extensive detail and when to lay back to let his line work shine through. I know we were joking about him being the best, but to be honest, I don't see anyone as unique as him. To think some random 80-year-old with this much skill isn't being talked about internationally is a real tragedy. I mean, look at this perfect blend of paint splashes we see in Impressionist works combined with the Art Nouveau figure. What would Monet think about some random master halfway across the world using his technique? Hwang In Jae is simply one of a kind. I was so excited about finally getting the book, getting the names I had been hunting for weeks, that I forgot to even read the preface. The preface of Printed in North Korea has a small story, one which I believe everyone must hear. Here it is, from the perspective of Nicholas Bonner. In 2004, I was asked to co-curate the 6th Asia-Pacific Art Triennale in Australia that for the first time would include work from North Korea. The artist who stood out was Hwang In Jae, a small man, 61 years old, with white hair and an unassuming demeanor that gave no clue to his artistic talent. Over the years, he and I discussed subjects ranging from French Impressionists, whose work he admired at university, to abstract work that he simply failed to engage with. Hwang In Jae and the other 4 artists were invited to the opening of the Biennale in December 2009, which for most of them would have been their first trip outside the DPRK. Hwang In Jae was so happy to be involved in North Korea's first truly international exposition. Sadly, he and the other artists did not attend the 2009 opening to see their works on display. They were denied entry by the Australian government on the grounds that they were artists from art studios associated with propaganda aimed at glorifying and supporting the North Korean regime. It appears politics is always part of the agenda. Hwang In Jae's dream of visiting are no longer possible. He died a few years ago. Before the Q&A, I wish to thank every member of our Discord server who helped with the voiceovers in this video, but especially fellow art channel Genghis Chan. Check him out, he does similar stuff. This is where most casual viewers will click off, so before you go, why not subscribe? You lose nothing. Thanks again for tuning into Polyblank, and I'll see you later. Now for the competitive viewers, here's the Q&A. Any other art forms that I like? Watchmaking, I have a small watch collection, and also poetry, I write poems as did my grandfather. Will there be an upload schedule / more regular uploads? What made you start making videos? Inspiration, or you woke up with the sudden need to share facts? I love this bit of lore that I suddenly woke up in a cold sweat in the dead of night and decided to make videos. Truth is, my spark was the Kendrick Lamar song Mirror. I choose me. Why am I making videos on art? I wanted to show what art history could be. Art history videos don't have to be a soulless narrator reading a Wikipedia article. They can be fun, they can be entertaining, they can have personality. A kid thinks art history is boring, goes on YouTube, finds great art explained, and his fears are confirmed. I want to change that. A lot of people asking about the skeleton. Well, I drew this skelly a couple years back, colored it, and it was my profile picture for many years until I redrew it. So I've always had a skeleton as my avatar. I never cry at films, and yet this single animated movie called A Silent Voice almost moves me to tears with its relatability. This is a film where the main character does this with their pen in class. Need I say more? Where are you from? The Balkans. This is why I take stabs at other Balkan countries in the vids. We love making fun of each other here. Okay, I'll answer every music question. Favorite band, favorite artist, favorite album. Oh, and the most artsy album cover I can think of is Kids See Ghosts. Are you? See, you are bi because you like both. I am bi because I copy old Renaissance masters. We are not the same. Thoughts on AI? AI is not art as it lacks artistic intent. My favorite work would be this, or the Westminster side entrance, since it holds a special place in my heart. Also Caramel Night. Favorite food would be popcorn. Wait, Serbian? Hey man, check out this image. Too easy. Do you paint? Yes. What inspired me to start making videos? I woke up in a cold sweat in the dead of night.